Hi, Gemini Sun and Rising. Welcome to your December 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So, this is Sagittarius season, and of course, you're aspected by that because you're the opposite sign of Sagittarius. You're going to have a full moon in your sign in December. Sometimes this happens in November, but this year it's in December. And likewise, a new moon in your opposite sign, opposite house. So on the first of the month, that new moon will be happening at 9 degrees of Sagittarius in your seventh house of committed partnership. Now, of course, this is a general forecast, so whether or not it's actually in this house depends on the individual. So the seventh house of committed partnership is also the house of legal affairs. So there could be some developments in either one of these areas. And even with someone who has been married for years or a domestic partnership for years, you may have something going on in your relationship that has changed, that is new to both of you, and that's breathing fresh life into your relationship. For other people, there might be a new marriage or a domestic partnership that is taking place. And I think also any kind of like person that you meet could be a potential life partner, but maybe you meet them at this time. On the 6th, we have Mars retrograding at 6 degrees of, I was going to say Gemini, of Leo, and that is your third house, which is the house that you rule in astrology. Gemini, this is the area of the mind. This is the area of teaching, of learning something, of your siblings, of neighbors, your local area. So when Mars just is direct in this area, there's something activated in as far as your communication. Communication, like social media, is also third house. And when Mars is in the third house, you have to be careful about being argumentative. So people who have this in their natal chart, they may have a tendency to always want to fight back and be a contrarian, or even if they really believe something differently, they love to debate. Mars is like a sparring partner when it comes to verbal stuff. But it can lead to aggressive speech, and you're doing it. And also another thing about Mars is that it's very rash, so it can shoot off its mouth. If you shoot off your mouth to someone, you can apologize later. Like if you say something that's not nice or that you just didn't mean to say, but you were heated in the moment, and maybe they'll forgive you, but they won't forget what you said. So it's really important to have control over your speech. Sometimes people say things just to be mean and to wound somebody. And it's like, why? Why do that? But when Mars goes retrograde, something is thwarted. Something is going within. So, for instance, maybe you have like this pet issue that you really want to communicate to others about, and you're very passionate about it, but you can't do it for some reason. And since the third house is siblings, when Mars is direct, there can be this even conflicts that arise when it comes to siblings and things like that. Now, an interesting thing is that you have had Pluto in your eighth house, the house that it rules, for 16 years. And Pluto left Capricorn in November. As I record this, I'm I'm pretending that it's the past tense, but it's actually November 19th, which is in the future when I'm recording this. So the point is that there are some people that have had quite an experience as it pertains to inheritances or an ex-spouse's money and how you play into it, and things may be totally different now where you see things differently as it pertains to these issues. And so that may have involved your siblings if it was like an inheritance issue. And sometimes it may have brought up things that made you wonder about your siblings, or you thought, wow, I didn't know that they were like this. Okay, well, now I see what I was dealing with all along. But something is kind of preventing you from directing that energy outwards. You're directing it more towards yourself. And it might be that you actually stop communicating for a while. Mars will be going direct in February. So if, for instance, you started writing a book, actually, this is a good time if you had started writing project earlier and now you're picking it up again. But if you're trying to start something new, you may find that it is hard to get it off the ground, that you are not, maybe you have writer's block. And it's a good time in those cases to kind of work on yourself. And there's a book called The Artist's Way, and it was written by a screenwriter. Her name is Julia Cameron. I don't know if she's ever written novels, but she is a wonderful writer, like a nonfiction writer. I haven't read any of her fiction, but she's a wonderful nonfiction writer in this book, and she has a course on how to reclaim your creativity. And like you do these different practices. And it's not just about writing, it's about other types of creative endeavors. But the point is that you can reclaim it. You don't have to just like accept the fact that you're blocked and just think that, oh, well, maybe that's the end of that. There might be something that really can be drawn out, and maybe this is a great time to do that. The next day on the 7th, Neptune turns direct. So Mars goes retrograde, and then the next day, Neptune turns direct at 27 degrees of Pisces. For Gemini, this is your 10th house of career. On the same day, Venus goes into Aquarius, fellow air sign, in your 9th house. So with the Neptune direct in the 10th house, you may have had some kind of disillusionment, Gemini, as far as career matters. You also have Saturn transiting this house for the last year and a half, and Saturn went direct in November, mid-November. Again, as I record this is happening in advance. So anyway, it's really good that, thank God that Saturn is in that 10th house, the house that it rules in astrology, because it can help balance out Neptune. Because Neptune can actually be aimlessness. A person can feel like they are confused about their goals, their career goals. They can, or their, including the direction that they want to take their career in. A person can feel confused about their public image. And I'm not somebody that promotes, oh yeah, you have to have an image, you have to promote yourself, you have to be this like career, achiever, go-getter. It's just that that's what people tend to do. And this could be a time when it's very difficult for Gemini people to fully embrace what it is that they came here to accomplish at this particular juncture in history. And it transcends just the plain career. It's much larger than that. Any disillusionment that you experienced can now be met with more idealism and hopefulness with Neptune direct. And Saturn direct means that you can become very realistic, because Neptune can be very unrealistic about, career matters or goals. And Saturn can be more realistic and make you able to go after goals more clearly. And on the same day, on the 7th, Venus goes into Aquarius. That is your 9th house, and that is the house of long distance travel. If you have met somebody, Venus can be a love interest. If you've met somebody and they are of a different nationality or ethnicity, race, you may be visiting them. And then on the 15th, we have a full moon at 23 degrees of Gemini, as well as Mercury, your ruler, going direct in Sagittarius, your opposite sign. So that's very interesting. So, that makes it more significant for you that your ruler is going direct. It's going direct in your opposite sign, opposite house, in that 7th house of committed partnership, but also legal affairs. So maybe something was lost in translation. It could even be as simple as you're getting married and you couldn't get I said birth certificate. You couldn't get the wedding certificate, and now you can, or you will be able to. The full moon in your sign can be that you are coming to some realization about yourself, coming to the end, the apex of something that maybe you realize that you are finished with, or that no longer are part of you. This is in your first house, so it can be that you're seen more for some reason. You kind of are on other people's radar, because a full moon can illuminate things. On the 21st, we have the solstice, winter in the northern, southern in the summer, of course. And this is when the sun goes into Capricorn. And this is your 8th house. So it really, I think for those in the northern hemisphere, it really does dovetail with that, because it's about the return of the sun. So there's there's symbolism of regeneration and like the phoenix rising from the ashes, the lowest point, the weakest point of the sun, and now it's going to expand. And then on the 29th on the West Coast and 30th everywhere else, we have the black moon, the second full moon in a month, and this is going to be in Capricorn. Again, this is in that 8th house, so this is the regeneration for sure. And this could also be new developments as far as any kind of shared resources. It can be anything to do with personal alchemy or transformational practices. So, shamanism, It can be like astrology, the tarot, things like that, that you are engaging with, metaphysical studies. Okay, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.